Okay, JB, it's time for an update on this Corvette. Things are coming along.
Yes.
What's happening?
Well, at long last, we've graduated from the process of creating a skim coat back to our original problem with Corvettes is they were built lumpy to start with. So we got to get rid of that. It's not a matter of restoring sheet metal that was made and it's very smooth. This is made lumpy and it stayed lumpy. So now what we're going to do is build a very slight amount of filler primer out from there, and then we're going to transition. This is what this has been done here. We created a new surface, and then over here you start to see what's the fruit of his labor. This has not been sanded or touched.
Wow,
this
that
is
was just
actual finish as we speak. He just shot this on a few minutes ago, and this is a surfacer primer.
Okay.
So its job is to fill very tiny imperfections, but not really, and then provide a substrate that he can block sand and do his final sanding. You've got to create another level because we don't want to sand through it. And we're not going to be doing any heavy sanding, obviously, because if you can see that
you're almost there.
The shadow lines tell you, one of the ways you can tell when you've got it is the line side down it. Look for that white shadow right up the middle. If that white shadow wiggles, then you got problems.
Yeah, but it's as straight as can be.
It's as straight as it can be.
Wow.
Okay, Corvettes are look to be small and simple, but they're not. If you're going to do a really good job with them, and unfortunately a lot of them are not done that way, it's even more of a problem with a black car. This is going to be a black car.
Yeah.
So no imperfections are allowed. They're going to jump out and hit you right in the forehead. So we can't have that. So every square inch of the exterior of this body has to be almost perfect.
Right.
Perfect. So if you noticed, the back quarters are straight. The seam line along the midline is straight and it dives down. So right at this point, we use the reflected sunlight to kind of tell us whether we're on track or we got a problem. If I had a little dip here, this would jump right out at you.
Okay.
Remember, this hasn't even been sanded yet.
Right.
So we're going to take it down to much finer grits. Same thing with the back and this quarter over here, same thing. If you notice, if you just take your eye and look, you'll see on that dark background, you'll see this white shadow.
Yep.
And that tells you that's the peak of that panel. And quite often, when you're sanding it, it's very difficult to get that peak perfect because you're coming this way and that way. And now it's got to go all the way from front to rear without an interruption.
Right.
It's not that easy to do.
No.
He's been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
So
catching that line perfect is
incredible.
It's
tough. But he's learned that he has the time to do it correctly.
Yep.
Nobody's going to be bothering him about it or hurry up or what's going on here. And he does take a lot of time. There's no question about it. But when you see what he does and the result of it, you find out why.
That's why.
Okay?
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, the black is unforgiving. So when you see it in black,
exactly,
you know it's
so
right.
you got a lumpy car in a difficult color.
Yeah.
And there's no excuses on this car. You've got to do it. It's making it for his wife. The last thing he needs to do is take it to his wife and say, honey, we pulled up on the 5-yard line and we just fumbled. Okay?
Right.
It's not something you want to tell your wife.
No, that's right.
All right?
Well, that's a great update. Thanks, JB.
Yes, sir.
We'll keep watching on it.